Now then, a site surveyor that can't count to 13 and a misbehaving measuring tape. Yep, that can only mean one thing. We've got ourselves an allotment. Well, we would have an allotment if we could ever get into the place. We spent about 15 minutes trying to open the lock, and then when we got the lock open, we couldn't get the key out of the lock, which just goes to show you how new it all is. Well, these are the allotments. They're not quite what you guys have as allotments, because this is London. So the 50 foot by 250 foot land parcel just doesn't exist around here. So what we have is 30 feet by 29 feet, I think, and this plot has been divided up that way. Now, it's got a bit of a history. Apparently it was allotments, fell into disuse, went into private ownership, worked as allotments for a little while, fell into disuse, and it's been disused ever since, and then the council has taken it back into council ownership, and they're dishing it out. There's 4 watering points, I think, but you can see the tanks are really new, but the water's very green, and that's because it's just been sitting in the sun, hasn't been used. You can see the state of the ground. It's all weed, scotch grass, brambles, and the majority of it seems to be thistle. Now, if you've been watching my Making a New Garden little mini series, you'll know that my garden is absolutely plagued with bindweed. And I still think bindweed is about the worst, but I've come to the conclusion that thistle is a very close second. The plot directly behind us is in use, and the one to the side of that is in use, but the rest of it is all thistle. Now, we got some work done and then made a huge mistake of not covering the ground, and it's all come back. You can see how high the thistle has grown in the few weeks since we were there last. This is coming towards the end of the summer, around September time. All the thistle has grown back. We didn't get very much cleared. I wanted to go no dig, and I'm going to be trying out as many no dig principles as I can on this allotment, but we've just had to break the ground up because it's rock solid, and you can see why. I mean, literally rock solid. There's loads of buried bricks in here. Somebody told me, I don't know how true it is, that there were certain spots on this plot of land where there was a whole load of rubble for whatever reason buried, and it seems that we got one of the spots where there was a load of weed buried. Now, I carted down a load of wood chip to get onto the plot eventually, and in the time from the first visit to when you're looking now, which is around the end of September, the wood chip got covered in thistle. Now, I suspect these are seeds that just landed on the top and they've grown down, but you can see the tarp was absolutely useless. They've actually pushed their root through the tarp. I'm guessing these didn't come up from the bottom just because the depth of the wood chip would have been too great. It would have stopped all the light going through. So these guys have just grown down from the wood chip down through into the tarp, into the clay below. It's clay site. Now, I've rounded up 3 random young people here to do some work. I don't get the impression I do like hard work. I mean, I could watch people working hard all day. So there's Miss Sprinkles telling everybody what to do and how to do it. The random guy you see there on the left, that's my older daughter's partner, and you can tell by the way he wielded that spade that's a man who's spent his entire life working in an office. Sorry mate if you're watching this. So yep, there's Miss Sprinkles. No toy gardening stuff for her. It's the real thing or nothing. And she's giving it her best effort, as always. Yeah, so for the pleasure of this little 30 foot by 29 foot, we pay £64 to the council, which did make me laugh when I came across some of the comments you guys made previously around paying £14 and £25 and £28 and all that. We pay 64 for this, but we're going to use every square inch of it to produce food, eventually. So that was just a little introduction. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll be sure to do plenty of updates starting in the spring. And just to end on some good news, despite the bricks and the rocks and the thistles and the brambles and the weeds, we do have worms, so it's all good.